So I have told you how you might organize the photos that you get by mail that you want to keep. Of course, a lot of the things that I get by mail, by email, I don't necessarily want to keep. So I just leave them in that downloaded from email folder for a year, and then every year or so I delete a year's worth of stuff that I have not or copied to somewhere else, like My Pictures Family or 2007. So we've talked about the systems that you can download email with that and how to deal with your attachments in there, and we've talked about organizing them. Now I just want to touch briefly on each one on the systems that you might use to edit your photos. I don't know how many times I've received a photo from someone that they sent me as an attachment, and when I open it, all I can see is maybe this hand right there, and that's all it shows on the whole screen because the picture is so big, 2 or 3 megabytes, that it won't fit. So you should think about that before you take any of these pictures that you received of your granddaughter and share them with Uncle Louie or anybody else. You should resize them. You also might want to do some other things with them that are quite easy in some of these programs. I'm going to cover Picasa, Photoshop Elements, which costs about $100. Microsoft Office Picture Manager, which comes with Microsoft Office 2003, and HP Photosmart, which I have because I have an HP printer, and it came on the CD with the printer. But you can get an Elements edition of this free as a download just by putting HP Photosmart in Google. So let's start with Picasa. Picasa is a free program from Google that helps you find, edit, and share your photos. When you first start Picasa, it will scan your entire computer and pick up every photo on it, 6,492 in my case. It sorts them by date. The only disadvantage with that is that the primary date that it uses is the embedded date in a photo, and if your camera, like mine, reverts to January 1st, 1999 every time you change the batteries, unless you go back and reset the date, which I often forget to do, you will end up with some very missorted photos. But there are other ways to find them. Let's talk about how we would change one photo amongst the ones that we sorted recently if we wanted to. Here, this photo, if you look at its properties by right-clicking on it and then clicking Properties, it says that it's 800 by 600 pixels and is the size of 171 kilobytes. Well, if you were sending a lot of emails to a friend, you'd probably want to make that a little smaller. So the question is, how could you resize this photo in Picasa? First, I would make a copy of the photo I was going to change and work on that copy. I'd select it, put a border around it, go to File, and click Save a Copy, which puts one more here. Then I'd select that one, which puts this picture in the photo tray, and I'd go to Export, and it would show me what size the exported copy was going to be. I can change that. I can also change the size that it starts out by going ahead of time to Tools and Options and picking this number of pixels that I'm going to reduce things to. However, in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead with the 480 pixels, and we'll see what that does to the, here we are, Here's the new picture. It's now 95 kilobytes. That's just one of the things you can do with Picasa. Adobe Photoshop Elements is a pretty powerful program for $100. It'll do an awful lot of the things that the very expensive Adobe Photoshop program will do. If I wanted to resize one of the photos that we've just worked on, I'd go to File, Browse, and then I would find under my documents the Senior Computer Group Demo folder that's in my computer. I'd open up the folder My Pictures and I'd pick one of these. Let's do Taken at Home. And it shows me the 4 photographs we have. Alex, Buddies, Buddies 1, and Halakipa. Let's say that I want to resize Buddies. I would double-click Buddies, which brings it up in a separate window. It would show me what the details of the photo are, width, height, color mode, resolution, etc. And if I go to the How To palette and look under the recipes, I'll get directions for resizing that photo. All I have to do is click here, resize a large photo for, this says for printing, but it works for anything else. And it says exactly what to do. You choose image, resize, image size, etc., etc. So that is a very powerful program for about $100. It'll do just about anything you want to do. I really like Microsoft Office Picture Manager for this kind of work. If you have Microsoft Office 2003 and you go past all the programs that you normally use and look at the tools, you'll see Microsoft Office Picture Manager. Picture Manager does something very similar to Picasa in picking up all the pictures you have on your computer and sorting them. But when you go down to the picture you want to work on, which once again is down in our Senior Computer Group Demo, here we are. Let's say Received by Email. And you pick one of these and double click on it. When you go to Picture and look at that drop-down menu, it lists all the things that you might want to change. Cropping, rotating, flipping, and resizing. When you resize, you can do a predetermined width and height. You can do a custom width and height. You can just take the original and do a percentage. And it'll show you as you drop down in percentage what the new size is going to be in pixels. I like that program. Finally, here is HP Photosmart Premier, which came with my HP printer. But as I said, you can download one by just going to HP Photosmart in Google, and you'll find a free download of an Elements type of package of HP Photosmart. In this version, you can browse by the folders in your computer. So we would go to SCG Demo, we'd go to My Pictures, we'd pick maybe Received by Email, we would select a picture, double click it, and then we would click the tab Edit, modify the images that are in my selections tray. And you can rotate it, you can flip it, you can crop it, etc., etc. You can resize it, which is what we were talking about as a generic concept, to an email size, a current size, a web blog size, or a custom size. That's pretty handy. So I hope that you can now answer this question a little bit better. Or if perhaps you can't now, you might be able to if you came up and got a copy of this presentation, took it home and played it on your own computer a few times. I hope your grandchild is as cute as my great-grandchild.